Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to our podcast at 1% Better, where we share our principles that we use every single day to try to make your life better and so you can enjoy a nice, prosperous life. So today, what if I told you I spent $30,000 to kind of push myself, get myself uncomfortable out here in Kentucky? So this weekend, I decided to get my IV sedation course license. So if you don't know what that means, I love putting people to sleep. Rear naked chokes, DARS, guillotines. But now I decided to go on a professional level, put people to sleep with an intravenous IV medication. So now that I am here, I'm going to learn how to use different medications so we can do sleep dentistry. So there's different ways where we can help the anxiety with some dental patients, because let's face it, a lot of people don't like the dentist. We usually have to use some type of pill or some type of gas to help the patients help their nerves go down, especially when they're getting like a dental surgery, an implant. And one of my friends said, hey, I'm getting my IV sedation license. And I wasn't really thinking about getting it. But after I heard him say it, I was like, I think it's time. So it's really good to have different group friends around you, because one group of friends might tell you, hey, it's not worth the risk, it's not worth the liability to put patients to sleep. You should just do general dentistry and implants. That's what I do. And I have another group of friends that say, hey, I'm giving my IV sedation license. It's not that bad. You should try to do it. You're going to help a lot of patients. You're going to help a lot of people, and it's going to help grow you as an individual. And me as a martial artist, a black belt dentist, I'm always trying to make myself 1% better. So one of the Bible principles I found in Psalms, which is written by King David back in the day, and in Psalms, one of the themes is you always got to make yourself uncomfortable to get better. So if you're not constantly putting yourself in discomfort, challenging yourself, just getting by with the status quo, we can do a lot better. And that's the way God's going to test our faith. And I'm going to test God as well. Like, hey, if I'm in this position, you're going to allow me to succeed and to do my best as long as I try. And I've been kind of testing God like that my whole life, and never has he disappointed me. Every time I went for a challenge, he's always blessed me with success. And I think that's kind of a principle that everyone can use in their day-to-day life, is when you challenge yourself and you're up for the challenge and you see the rewards, there's always a blessing on the other side. So this week, we're going to see patients. I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 6:30, and we're going to get to the clinic by 7:30. And this is going to be our first day. And I'm going to keep you updated. This is going to help all you dentists if you guys are wanting to go into the IV sedation track. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is our ACLS exam. What is that? That's like, if there's an emergency, what we're supposed to do. There's something called an AED. We have to make sure we know how to use an AED. There's different medications in case some patients start going south. There's medicines like epinephrine, atropine, reversal drugs. These are all the things that we're going to go over. And it was a lot of work on my part. Not only am I trying to do this podcast, I'm seeing dental patients. I'm training as much as I can because I love it. And I'm trying to help my patients, my staff, get stuff in order, book clubs, all these different things. But putting this on my plate was actually a blessing in disguise. Why? Because I was able to kind of put myself into an uncomfortable situation. And when I get this down, like down to a science, and I can help every single patient using IV sedation if they want it, man, it's going to make my life easier, and it's going to make my patient's life easier. So coming up also into this trip, I was with one of my assistants named Elena, and she's such a sweet girl, but we were just kind of talking about anxiety versus anticipation and a lot of the self-talk in our heads. And I told her, hey, there's a lot of battles in life that we want to fight for, but sometimes they're not our battles. And it's going to be a waste of energy trying to fight these battles. That's not for us. So, for example, I like to go back to this story in the Bible. It was John the Baptist and Jesus. So John the Baptist was this cool hippie dude. He was like Jesus's right-hand man, his cousin, his best friend. And they described him as like this hippie guy who just came out of the woods wearing like complete hippie stuff, having a purse, eating wild bees just for protein, just eating it, chomping on it. And he was such a good activist for Judaism or whatever it was back then, because I know it was before Christianity, because it was in Jesus's time, and he was speaking truth. He was speaking morals to all the people, and because he was doing that, he was getting a bad rap from the politicians, because the politicians don't want to hear that. They don't want to give the people hope. They don't want to give the people too much morals, because the Jews back then were under the Roman law. So if you guys do your research, you guys can see how there was a differentiation between the two societies. And so since Jesus and John the Baptist were besties, John the Baptist actually baptized Jesus. And when John the Baptist baptized Jesus, he already knew Jesus was the one. He was the chosen one. So he told his people, he's like, look, Jesus is the guy. I'm following him. All my footprints was leading up to this guy, but John the Baptist still had his following. And as well as Jesus, after Jesus was like 30 years old, he got a huge following because he was just speaking truth. He was helping the poor. He was giving everyone hope that people like didn't want to live. People were so sad. They were under harsh times, just like a lot of us today. And so Jesus was just with his tongue and his words was just healing people, bringing people back from the dead, doing amazing things. Okay. And these are all Bible stories. Okay. So I'm just repeating what was already said in the Bible. I didn't make this up. It was already there when I woke up. And so there was a time when John the Baptist was put in prison. And they knew, the disciples and Jesus knew that John the Baptist was going to get beheaded, because I think the queen's daughter said, hey, just for one wish, can I just have John the Baptist dead? Because he was an activist and then he rubbed these people the wrong way. So the royal family is like, hey, let's get this guy's head on a platter. That's my wish. And so Jesus knew that there was a bounty on for John the Baptist, and his disciples knew it. And so the disciples said, look, we got to save John the Baptist. That's your guy. That's your person. We got to go save him. Then we can truly show that you are the Son of God. You are Jesus. So when Jesus heard that, he was obviously sad, but He didn't go save John the Baptist. It wasn't his battle. As much as he wanted to, because that was his boy, he didn't. He goes, no, my time is coming. I have my own purpose. And if we do that, it's going to detour us from the purpose, from the mission. And John the Baptist, his purpose will be fulfilled. So sometimes we see things in different ways. I know a lot of us, I want to help other people so bad, but sometimes if it doesn't fall in your purpose, it's not worth your time. You can't fight everybody's battle. So in the workplace, as a dentist, I work with a lot of people. I have a lot of staff. I hear a lot of complaints. I hear this, that. Oh, he did this, she did that. And I have some people trying to fight other people's battles for them. And every time they come up to me and ask me for help, I try to sometimes give them the advice. And one of the advice is, listen, this is not your battle. This is not your area of expertise. This is someone for the front office to take care of, not you. And as much as they're passionate about trying to help the team and all that stuff, sometimes it's not our duty. So that was an interesting conversation that I had with my assistant, and that story, because Jesus said that, and because Jesus did that, and because Jesus understood the mission and not having to help everybody at a certain time, even if it was his best friend, tells us we have to be so focused on our mission and so faithful to our mission. Sometimes we're going to have to leave somebody behind out of love, but because we know that his mission is another part. Because Jesus' whole mission was for himself to be sacrificed, for himself to be humiliated, to get whipped, to wear the thorn, to hold a cross up for like miles. He had to do the 40 days and 40 nights. Imagine if you had a fight camp or if you're getting ready for a tournament and that mindset you're in, you're like, I can't quit. This is going to be 5 minutes of battle. Maybe I'll have 5-6 matches for gold. Jesus was doing the same thing, but his fight camp was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights with no food because he knew the fight that he had to go was to bring that cross up for all of us to live. That's so amazing. And so the only person I can really look up to and to see he was perfect was Jesus. So that's why I bring up these stories, because anything I say in these principles should be applicable to your every single day life to make yourself better. So when we're saying, hey, we got to make ourselves humble, we got to make ourselves 1% better, what does that mean to you? Because remember, the Bible in Psalms says we need to put ourselves in comfortable positions to get ourselves better in life. Why? Because that gives us the perseverance to help other peoples. So that being said, we're going to finish up the week here in Kentucky. I'm missing 4 days of work. I'm sacrificing a lot to be out here. I got my charitable license for 4 days, and I am going to work on patients for free. Actually, I'm paying them so I can learn how to do these procedures, and I'm giving back. But at the end, I'm gaining knowledge. And knowledge over time and experience and practicality of use becomes wisdom. So I promised you guys I would talk about the stocks. So one thing I would say about the stocks is there's something called options and there's something called stocks. So the stock that I really, really like right now is called Nokia. And another one I really like for the short term is called POET, Poet. I own shares of both. When you own shares, you actually own a piece of the company. So for right now, if you pay $13, you can have a piece of Nokia company. If you spend $14 right now, you can have a piece of the company POET. And in 10 years, if it grows to $100, you're going to have that much equity in your pocket. Okay, so there's a book called Richest Man in Babylon. And in this book, what it says is, save your gold and let the gold be your slave to make money, or something along those lines. So basically, if we can have our money work for us by generating more wealth, then we got to find what that is. And for some people, it's stocks. I know some people that don't even play stocks and they do well. They find other operating assets. But stocks is the easiest way to have passive income. So right now, there's something called the AI gold rush. So I'm sure all of you guys are using ChatGPT. I'm sure all of you guys are using Claude, Perplexity to do anything. Maybe it's to do your homework. Maybe it's to find a formula to jujitsu. Maybe it's to find the best restaurant, whatever it is. It's basically Google on steroids. You can even have a conversation with it. So this AI gold rush is basically the future. And the future is being unfolded in front of us. It was kind of like when the internet boom started happening in the 2000s. People got really rich from there. And that's what's happening right now. So if you guys are listening to this podcast, I want all of you to look up stocks, and I want all of you to look up option trading. Okay? Option trading is a little bit different. Option trading is, I'm going to get a coupon for 100 shares of stock for a partial amount of the price. But the catch is, it's a coupon. I don't really own the stock. And there's an expiration date on this coupon. The closer we get to the expiration date, this coupon loses value. It's like a ticking time bomb. So if you guys understand how to use these coupons and play stocks, you guys can have what is called a nice portfolio to really make some money passively. So also in the Richest Man of Babylon, it says, pay yourself first, save 10% of anything you make, and you pay yourself. That's a rule. Okay? You have to learn how to pay yourself. And the other 90%, you're going to spend it on your expenses, on your bills, maybe date night, maybe your car payment, whatever it is that you guys like to do. Take your wife out, take your kids out, buy some new gis, get the new jiu-jitsu tutorial, or go to a CE course. I don't know what you guys do, right? But pay yourself first. And with that 10% that you pay yourself first, you should be investing that money. We will talk about next time a story about a king who gave his servants some talents. Some talents were coins. And he gave a few of them a few coins. And they all invested it differently. We'll talk about that story next time. But anyway, if you guys are dentists, if you guys are business owners, if you guys are jiu-jitsu people, I don't care who you are, if you guys are barbers, if you guys are electricians, I want to help you by putting principles in your mind that worked for me. Sometimes these are biblical, but biblical doesn't mean it's wrong, okay? Biblical just means that it came from the Bible, and a Bible is a book. And a book that was written a long time ago. So it's not like something where I'm trying to preach to you guys. I'm just going off a book that I've read, okay? So I hope you guys got something from this today. I'm going to follow up with a couple more podcasts later on every single night, especially for you dentists. If you guys want to get your IV sedation license just like I'm doing right now, go ahead and listen. Give it a follow. Make yourself better, help your patients. Or even if you're not a dentist and I'm motivating you, maybe you need to go take that class. Maybe you need to go get that certificate. Go do it. Go do it today. Go sign up. Why? Because you can. You're healthy. You can afford it. Maybe you can't not afford it, if that makes sense. There are courses in my life that maybe I've paid 15, 20, 30, 40 grand for. That's 10x'd my whole life. If I never did it, I would have been the same person I was 10 years ago. So go take that risk. Get that mind right. Sometimes your friends are gonna say, hey, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's too risky. Just do something else with your money. But if you believe in yourself, if you think that this one course or this one action that you're going to do that you always wanted to do to get a step ahead in life to help other people, go do it. Go do it today. I challenge you that. Because who are you going to be next year without it? You'll probably be the same person. So let's get 1% better, guys. All right, thanks for listening. Stay tuned, and we'll have another podcast up for you soon. Us.